Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we're going to be taking a look at this. This is a big old panel of buttons. This is the QRD Maestro S3, and if you know what it is, just from looking at it, then you know what it is. This is a controller designed almost exclusively for fighting games, and it's apparently a pretty big deal, this style, not necessarily this specific one, although, spoiler, I quite like this. The manufacturer got in touch and asked whether I wanted to look, and I thought, you know what? I've actually been kind of hankering for sort of arcade controls for a really long time, and I thought, hey, this looks interesting. So I decided to look at it. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling, let's dive right into things. So yes, as I suggested in the intro, I accepted this thinking, hey, this could be fun for arcade, loads of different games, and maybe other games as well, could it be really fun to just play around with games that wouldn't use a control system like this, with something like this? That's how I went into this. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that I've also still left all of the protective things on, and I was going to take them off. I should probably take them off. Oh god, that's actually really stuck on. Shiny. And no doubt fingerprinty now. So yeah, I was sort of hoping that this would be good for something that it wasn't really designed for. I gave a couple of arcade games a go, most specifically Donut Dodo, or is it Dodo Donut? I can never remember. And honestly, it feels great with that. It helps that the game is absolutely fantastic as well. I had a really good time. It just feels really nice. But there is a bit of a quirk with this thing, which will be, well, it'll make sense to anyone who plays fighting games. With this layout that you see here, which is obviously the only layout, I mean, you can change certain things. You can remap whether the directions are a D-pad or a left stick or a right stick, which is nice. But in terms of like A, B and all that sort of thing, it's all pretty standard. Again, you could change this in the switch options, but there is something, and this is down. That's left, that's right. That's down. This is up. And anyone who plays fighting games is immediately going to go, well, yeah, obviously. But for other games, it's slightly counterintuitive. I was able to change it so that that was down and that was up, and yeah, that worked a little bit better. But to be honest, I think it's better if you just get used to that being up. It takes a while to get used to it, but it's not the end of the world. It makes sense after a while. Except in some games. I had really hoped that this would be a fun and different way to play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it's certainly different. Ah! I can't recover! I am rather good at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I like to think. I'm in the Elite Smash with several characters. Does that make me good? It depends who you ask. And I have a lot of muscle memory when it comes to that game. And most of all this sort of stuff, yeah, I can remember, oh, that's jump. That's jump as well. Standard attacks, special attacks. That's up! Oh god! It's generally okay, and having that as down actually isn't as weird as you might think, especially if you use PC gaming keyboard WASD and all that sort of thing, because your middle finger rests on down anyway, or up, but that's what your middle finger's for. But for Smash, up being down here and being activated with the thumb just feels wrong. It's like it's the lowest button down, and I want to go up, and it's just counterintuitive. But that's not fair, because this wasn't designed for Smash. I did actually get in touch with the manufacturer, and I said, is there any way I could remap it or something like that? And they were like, well, no, I mean, we could create a custom layout for Smash and stuff like that. And they were open to that, They asked for some community feedback and come out with a custom layout for Smash, which would be very nice. But it's not really on the manufacturer to offer that sort of thing. That really would be going above and beyond, and I understand that, because we've delayed it long enough. What about for fighting games? I mean traditional fighting games, not platform fighters. Is it any good for those? Well, absolutely yes! This controller feels superb in traditional fighting games. Again, let's ignore Smash and platform fighters. I'm talking about the typical Street Fighter-esque type thing, Killer Instinct. And for anyone who hasn't worked it out yet, the reason that this is up is because in fighting games, up is jump. It's also why it's the biggest. The fact that all the directions, all the special moves, all the combos and everything like that are just there at your fingertips, and you don't have to do any sort of like partial turns or anything like that. It's just boom for, well, at least 2 directions. That would be a quarter turn, I believe. It just feels superb. It's so responsive. It's so fast. It almost feels like cheating. I mean, it doesn't because, well, as anyone who's seen the gameplay footage and actually knows fighting games, you all know I'm not good at traditional fighting games. I really like playing them, but I've never invested the amount of time that's required to get really good at them. I'm a casual enjoyer, and even I feel like I've got a significant advantage with this thing. Imagine what it could do for you. And it goes further even than that because there's all these different ways that you can change the way that things work. As I said before, you can make the directions a D-pad or a left stick and, you know, that's important in certain things. But you can even change the amount of input latency. And I don't fully know. I can't quite work out why you would do that. But I don't think you'd develop it without a flipping good reason. No doubt it's due to modern systems having greater input latency or expecting greater input latency. I don't know. I just set it to the lowest setting and I had a whale of a time. There is an auto setting as well, but I found that was a little bit more delayed, which should be expected. I put it on the lowest. I've had no problems. It feels fantastic. The latency is great. Yeah, because this is wireless as well. It can be wired as well, but yeah, it's wireless, and that's a massive boon for me. The only thing is, changing all these settings, including the RGB as well, a little bit of a nuisance, to be honest. There's a lot of different combinations and stuff like that. To be honest, I think if you're going to be changing things regularly, it'd be handy to have like a little, maybe not a printout, but like a cheat sheet on the back here. Would have been good if the manufacturer had provided something like that. Certain controllers do. But, you know, as long as you make a note of it, it shouldn't be too hard, and I don't know how often you'd be changing anyway. Maybe a lot. Again, I play fighting games casually. So the layout's good, it's nice and responsive, there's loads of different options, but what's my favorite thing about it? My favorite thing is the noise the buttons make, i.e., not very much at all. That's so quiet. It's not a micro switch. Or if it is, I don't know what it is. It's so quiet because I love arcade controls, but oftentimes they can be a bit, well, when you're using micro switches and stuff like that, they're sort of tick, 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 and that's okay. But this is just so nice. Let me, I tell you, just wait. So the microphone is here. The thing is there. Oh, that's quiet! And that, above everything else, just sells me on this. I think it's a really good peripheral for fighting games. It is limited in other areas, but it's being sold as a fighting game peripheral. It's not designed for other games. If it works with them, great, that's a lovely bonus, and that's how I feel about it. But this is for fighting games. If you're not massively into your fighting games, maybe think twice about this, but if you are, it's a flipping good little thingy. And there you have it. Have you used one of these fighting pads before? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Do you prefer a stick? Let us know with a comment down below. I'm genuinely really keen to hear because this is all new to me. Is it a good? I've seen read good things. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you press that subscribe button? Hope it makes a lovely little sound. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. You know, it'd be good if I had a little table here or something instead of having to hold this between my legs. That's not the right color.